Julius Robert Oppenheimer's story is exceptionally impactful and complex, to say the least. There's countless videos detailing the rich history, science, and politics of how events unveiled throughout Oppenheimer's life. Today, we're tackling part of his story through the lens of psychology. With the Oppenheimer movie recently releasing to the world, I want to do a simple thought experiment with you all today to really get you thinking about how complicated psychology can actually get sometimes. I think doing this will give you a fascinating new perspective to go into the movie with. We'll get to the experiment in just one moment. As the major bombings in 1945 were unfolding, Oppenheimer had to live through his creation, ending the lives of hundreds of thousands of individuals. The devastating effects of this cannot be overstated, and it effectively ended World War II as Japan had finally surrendered. Take a second to imagine what that would be like from Oppenheimer's perspective. What would this actually do to your psychological health? Oppenheimer was initially relieved to discover that the war was over, and he was proud that his passionate work had ultimately prevented countless more lives being lost had the war continued. He received honors and accolades for his work on the Manhattan Project and was hailed a national hero and a scientific genius by the media and public. However, he soon experienced immense guilt and regret over his involvement in the project. He realized he'd opened Pandora's box, unleashing a whole new era of nuclear warfare that threatened humanity's survival. It brings forth interesting questions on morality in war. This is where our interesting exercise comes in. In the world of psychology, it's a fascinating thought experiment called the Trolley Dilemma. The Trolley Dilemma poses a hypothetical scenario involving a runway trolley heading towards a group of people tied to the tracks. The person faced with the dilemma has the power to intervene and make a decision that will determine the fate of those individuals. The most basic version of the Trolley Dilemma goes like this. You're standing near a switch, and the trolley's headed towards 5 people who will be killed if it continues on its current path. However, you have the option to pull the switch and divert the trolley onto a different track where only 1 person will be killed. The moral question is whether you should actively intervene by pulling the switch, causing the death of 1 person to save 5, or do nothing and allow the trolley to proceed, leading to the death of 5 people. In this scenario, most people tend to choose to pull the switch, as they view it as the lesser of 2 evils, sacrificing 1 life to save 5. This decision is often justified by a utilitarian perspective that prioritizes maximizing overall welfare and minimizing harm. However, the Trolley Dilemma actually gets much more complicated as you add new variations into the mix. For example, in the footbridge version of the Trolley Dilemma, you're still near a switch, but instead of pulling the lever, you're standing on a footbridge above the tracks. On this footbridge, there's a large person who can actually stop the trolley if they were to be pushed off the bridge onto the track. The moral question becomes whether you should physically push this person off the bridge to save the other 5 who are further down the tracks. Most people hesitate to take this direction because it actively results in someone's death, even if it means saving more lives. You have to be the one to push the person off. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the Trolley Dilemma. What would you do in these situations? For those of you that are new here, my name's Jeff, and my goal is to make psychology make sense. If you've been enjoying the content so far, any support for the channel would be greatly appreciated. I also have a link in the description below for exclusive psychology content. Thanks for hanging out. The Trolley Dilemma illustrates the complexities of ethical decision-making as it highlights the interplay between consequentialist and deontological moral principles. Consequentialists argue that the morally right action is the one that leads to the best overall outcome, even if it means causing harm to some. On the other hand, deontologists believe that there are certain actions that are inherently right or wrong, regardless of their consequences. People's responses to the Trolley Dilemma often reflect deeply ingrained moral institutions and personal values. For instance, some may prioritize the principle of non-maleficence, avoiding direct harm to others. while some other people may prioritize utilitarian approaches, aiming to maximize overall well-being. In real-life situations, moral dilemmas can arise in various contexts, such as medical ethics, military decisions, and public policy choices. Understanding the trolley dilemma and how people respond to it can shed light on the complexity of human moral reasoning and the factors that influence our ethical decision-making processes. I really want you to think about this while you watch the movie. This is where we come back to Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer's situation can be likened to a real-life version of the trolley dilemma, but on a grand scale with exponentially higher stakes and far-reaching consequences. He found himself at a moral crossroads, faced with the heavy decision of participating in the creation and use of a weapon that had the potential to kill thousands of people, while paradoxically offering the possibility of saving millions of lives and bringing an end to the war. This ethical quandary posed immense complexity for Oppenheimer. It pushed him to wrestle with a mountain of considerations that extend far beyond scientific calculations. At the heart of Oppenheimer's dilemma were the clashes between his personal values, professional obligations, and political beliefs. As a scientist, he was driven by a profound sense of intellectual curiosity and the pursuit of knowledge. Oppenheimer's decision was a complex and emotionally charged journey. His patriotic duty compelled him to contribute to the war effort, but he also deeply connected to his team. He was torn between loyalty and moral implications. Compassion and empathy weighed on him as he considered the human toll of the atomic bomb. Amidst all of this, hope for peace drove him, while uncertainties surrounding the bomb's impact added to the ethical dilemma. Oppenheimer's decision was so far from being easy. It was an arduous journey filled with ethical complexities, moral dilemmas, and emotional turmoil. He didn't make this momentous choice in isolation. Rather, he was shaped and influenced by the convergence of multiple factors, both personal and historical. In the end, Oppenheimer's ethical and moral struggles remain a poignant reminder of the complex web of choices we encounter throughout our entire lives. It serves as a call to introspection, asking us to consider the multifaceted factors that impact our decisions and to reflect on the far-reaching implications of our actions. The legacy of Oppenheimer's choice stands as a testament to the enduring human quest to navigate the trolley dilemma of life with conscience, wisdom, and compassion. The human condition can be exceptionally complicated. When it comes to morality and ethics, two things can exist at the same time, even if they may bring opposing feelings or thoughts. Consider all of this as you walk into the movie with a different perspective coming from the world of psychology. If you're interested in other topics in psychology, be sure to check out my last video on meditation. So for all things psychology to help you think, feel, and perform better, stay tuned right here on Psychology of Living.